But first, as has been said many times on this show, if Donald Trump could find a cure for cancer, the mainstream media would still attack him for putting doctors out of work. Well, we're seeing exactly that same kind of thing right now, after the US president announced he'd ordered the successful killing in Syria of perhaps the world's worst terrorist chief, the head of the Islamic State. And he announced it in a way that was meant to humiliate a killer who'd been a dangerous inspiration to jihadists around the world.
Last night, the United States brought the world's #1 terrorist leader to justice. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He died after running into a dead-end tunnel, whimpering and crying and screaming all the way. He reached the end of the tunnel as our dogs chased him down. He ignited his vest, killing himself and the 3 children. His body was mutilated by the blast. The tunnel had caved in on it in addition. He died like a dog. He died like a coward. The world is now a much safer place.
Now, later in the show, I'll discuss with Daisy Cousins the bizarre reaction to that speech by some in the media. I mean, they should be treating it like it was good news, and it would be good news if it came from anyone else but Donald Trump. But let's first take in the seriousness of what happened in this attack, an attack by US Special Forces operating in northern Syria, coming in by 8 helicopters at night to kill al-Baghdadi using dogs and apparently a robot to chase him down a tunnel. And we can start perhaps with the name of this operation, Operation Kayla Mueller. Now, Mueller was an American aid worker who the US military named this operation after. She was on her way to a Doctors Without Borders hospital in Syria 6 years ago to help Muslims there when the Islamic State captured her, tortured her. Baghdadi himself repeatedly raped her and had her filmed making this final plea.
My name is Kayla Mueller. I need your help. I've been here too long. I've been very sick, and it's very terrifying here.
The Islamic State said that Mueller died after 18 months there in 2015, but her body has never been found. Now, of course, in the list of Islamic State horrors, Mueller, sadly, is just a footnote. We've seen footage, which I will not show here, of the Islamic State beheading Christians, beheading Muslims, beheading Western journalists and aid workers, and roasting alive enemy soldiers, all in its fanatic jihad to create an Islamic State. Now, all this was done under Baghdadi, who's an Iraqi who got a master's degree in Islamic studies, joined a radical terrorist group to fight the Americans in 2003 when they toppled dictator Saddam Hussein. The Americans captured him the following year, kept him in Camp Booker for 5 years before letting him go. Al-Baghdadi then joined al-Qaeda in Iraq, eventually taking over and exploiting the chaos in neighbouring Syria to build there what was then called the Islamic State. Now, it's easy to forget how strong the Islamic State became, and so fast, how terrifyingly strong, especially after it seized tanks and other heavy weapons from Iraqi and Syrian troops. At its peak 5 years ago, the Islamic State had 8 million people under its control in Syria and Iraq, 8 million. And Baghdadi announced it created a Muslim caliphate there, to which Muslims around the world owed their religious duty. And around the world, some young Muslims responded. In Europe, France suffered the very worst, 130 people killed in just one coordinated Islamic State attack in 2015 at a football game, a restaurant and a crowded theatre. In the US, an Islamic State supporter killed 49 people at a gay nightclub. And Islamic State supporters in Australia staged several terrorist attacks that killed 4 people, including police accountant Curtis Cheng. And another 200 or so Australians volunteered to fight for the Islamic State in Syria.
I deliver this message to you, especially the people of Australia. Bring your planes, bring everything you want to us, because it will not harm us. Why? Because we have Allah Azza wa Jal.
But gradually, Iraq got stronger, its army got stronger, the Allies got more serious, America armed rival militia groups, especially Kurdish ones, and the last stronghold of the Islamic State Caliphate collapsed this year. And now al-Baghdadi, its figurehead, the man to whom tens of thousands of jihadists around the world pledged their allegiance, he is dead. May he rot in hell for the hell that he caused here on earth.